Many believe that being in love is the best feeling in the world. Because love makes you happy, it lets you hopeful, makes you grateful, makes you inspired, and most of all it can change your life. This is the story of the 19th century French socialite who was locked up for 25 years in her mother's attic because of love. Blanche Monnier was a beautiful socialite in Paris. She was born on March 1, 1849 in Poitiers, France, to Laucy and Émile Monnier. She's from a well-respected, conservative, middle-class family. Her father Émile was the head of the local arts institution, and her brother Marcel was a wealthy and accomplished lawyer. Her whole family was extremely active in their community. The Monnier family received the Committee of Good Works Award, a distinction only given to the citizen that shows the highest of virtues. Paris, 1876, 25-year-old, Blanche was prominent for her beauty and attracted many potential suitors for marriage. However, she fell in love with an older, poor lawyer, who was not her mother's liking. Madame Louise Monnier stated that her daughter could not marry a penniless lawyer. Blanche's disobedience angered her mother, Madame Louise Monnier. As a result, her mother locked Blanche for 25 years in a tiny, dark room in the attic of their home. Blanche disappeared, and nobody in France and in their social circle ever saw her again. Her mother and older brother Marcel pretended to mourn for her disappearance and then continued to move on with their daily lives. On May 23, 1901, the Office of the Attorney General of Paris received a mysterious, unsigned letter narrating the confinement of Blanche Monnier at the hands of her own mother. Monsieur Attorney General, I have the honor to inform you of an exceptionally serious occurrence. I speak of a spinster who is locked up in Madame Monnier's house, half-starved and living on a putrid litter for the past 25 years. In a word, in her own filth. Blanche was then rescued by the police from her horrible condition. She was extremely malnourished, covered in rotten food and her own feces, with bugs around the bed and floor. In her tiny room, her window was boarded so that there was no sunlight, and no one could see her. She was not even allowed any sort of basic hygiene. Half of her life, Blanche lay in bed where she ate, urinated, and defecated. One of the policemen who rescued her described her condition as, "The unfortunate woman was lying completely naked on a rotten straw mattress. All around her was formed a sort of crust made from excrement, fragments of meat, vegetables, fish, and rotten bread. We also saw oyster shells and bugs running across Madame Monnier's bed. The air was so unbreathable, the odor given off by the room was so rank, that it was impossible for us to stay any longer to proceed with our investigation." Her mother Louise Monnier was arrested after the discovery of her daughter Blanche. She then died after 15 days in prison, after confessing her crime. Blanche's brother Marcel Monnier appeared on trial and was initially sentenced 15 months in prison for helping her mother. He was later acquitted. He was deemed mentally incapacitated, and the judges found that duty to rescue did not exist in the penal code at that time with enough rule to convict him. After Blanche was rescued from her tiny room, she continued to have mental health problems. She was diagnosed with various disorders such as anorexia nervosa, schizophrenia, exhibitionism, and coprophilia that led her admission to a psychiatric hospital in Blois. And in 1913, she died in a sanitarium in Blois.